So this is my old tablet, which is a little too underpowered to be still good today, and well, it's not even good to surf the internet. Maybe you could watch some movies on it, but the screen isn't that great. So I thought that maybe this can be still good for something, and I may turn it into a retro console by using some emulation apps for Android. In order to play my old games for Mega Drive or Super Nintendo or whatever. This is possible because those old tablets used to have a complete series of ports on the side. And this is good also because they usually had the DC jack, and since in this case I have a tablet with the battery completely dead, it just lasts about 10 seconds. So it's good because I can plug in the DC jack and I have the USB port free. And also it has a regular size USB port and a mini USB that can be turned into a regular USB with an adapter that came with the tablet that I should have around here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Here. Also, it has a mini HDMI port, but I've never tested it, so I don't know if it works properly or if the CPU handles it well. Probably not, because it's a single core CPU. So, I'm going to set up everything, and then I'll show you a couple of games emulated on this tablet. Joypads, USB joypads, and a wireless mouse that surprisingly works pretty well with this version of Android. I had another one, this one here. It's almost the same, but this one is optical, this is laser, and this one doesn't work on Android for whatever reason. The cool thing is that with this kind of mouse that also has a back button on it, this works as a back button on Android. As you can see, I'm getting into the drawer, and then yeah, I'm back. This is cool because every other button on the mouse just acts as a select, so it's good that I can use it to navigate through the interface without having to touch the screen. And as for the joypad here, this one does work with this version of the firmware. This one worked with the custom ROM, but the custom ROM was, believe it or not, worse than the stock firmware, and it wasn't even able to play correctly the games in the emulator. So, let's plug the joypad. Let's see what we can do. Joypad is, as you can see, I'm using the joypad to navigate, so it works. And the first problem I had with this little project was that not every emulator is working well with this version of the firmware. This is the 1.1 stock firmware for Eken T-01A, which is the name of this tablet. Even if it was marketed as Novitab, it's actually an Eken T-01A. And so I had to find some emulator that recognized the button press on the joypad, on the USB pad. Let's start with the Mega Drive or Genesis emulator, and well, just to play a classic. Sound is good. Okay, let's play. It plays just fine. I had no problem with every single one of the old games I tried on it. Of course, I didn't try every single game for the Mega Drive, because you shouldn't use ROMs for games you don't own. Okay, now let's try another game. Streets of Rage 2. Perfectly fine. Okay, and then let's try the Super Nintendo emulator with F0. And this plays completely fine. Audio, video, everything is fine, basically. So yeah, all tablets make great retro consoles if you take your time to tweak them a little, or maybe you have to find the right emulator and the right ROM, but they're fine, even if they're underpowered for today's standards, so you can't use them for surfing the internet or using modern apps. They are fine for playing some old games. Also, I can show you that this tablet can emulate Nintendo 64, but the results are sometimes good, sometimes they are not that good. Super Mario 64 plays fine, but sometimes the emulator has sound problems. Overall, maybe if you have a slightly newer tablet, it will work well. I don't know. You could try. Even PlayStation 1 can be played on this tablet, but it's not that good. So I'll just use my PlayStation 2 to play my old PlayStation 1 games. So that's all. This is my old tablet, and if you have one too, or you can find it very cheap, and you will find one of these for, I don't know, for a very cheap price on the web, because they're basically useless. You can make a good retro console, and if you have the cable, you can connect it to a bigger screen. You can get in another USB joypad instead of the USB mouse, and you can play with a friend. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.